Hello everybody, Nathan Forst here, reviewing Homeland Season 3, Episode 3, titled Tower of David. In this episode, we get to see Nicholas Brody make a return to the screen. Tower of David has an overarching theme to it. Both Brody and Carrie are prisoners, trapped due to a mixture of poor choices and circumstances beyond their control. When we see Brody, he is shot in the gut, being helped by Venezuelan gangsters. The reason why they're helping him? Because the leader of the gang knows Carrie Matheson. In all honesty, though, it didn't seem very believable. Nicholas Brody has a $10 million bounty on his head, dead or alive. Am I seriously led to believe that honor among thieves and thugs trumps $10 million? Not likely. In any event, he is brought to an unfinished skyscraper in the center of Caracas. The building is populated by the homeless, downtrodden, families trying to make ends meet, gangsters and drug users. It is, as one hapless doctor put it, a place for outsiders. And this is where Brody must stay. It is a prospect that does not sound very appealing to him, and during the episode he attempts to escape. He eventually successfully gets away, seeking shelter and refuge at the local mosque. He talks with the imam of the mosque, makes his case, and is led inside and into the family home. Brody has always been oddly stupid, suggestible, and in his own way, idealistic. He is led to believe that he is welcome, accepted, and an honored guest. In reality, though, the imam called the authorities as soon as Brody was out of sight and in the shower. 2 police officers walked into his washroom, grabbed him, beat him up, and arrested him. They were on their way out when the gangsters from the Tower of David came to the door, murdered them both, killed the imam and his wife, and took Brody back with them. Now let's stop here for a second. I presume the imam told the authorities who he suspected was in his home, and they sent 2 cops. 2. 1, 2. They sent 2 cops in one of the most dangerous cities in South America, and after a presumed terrorist that bombed the headquarters of the Central Intelligence Agency in Washington, D.C. I somehow think that the whole block would be swarming with police. This was just idiotic, and it broke the immersive element of the show for me. Right when the cops opened the door, got gunned down, I realized, holy shit, they really just sent 2 of them. Wow, that's absurd and moronic. It felt like a very TV moment, and somewhat out of place in Homeland. The whole point of this scene was to show how powerless Brody actually is, and when he attempts to take his life back into his control, he is struck down, almost captured, and only succeeded at causing more pain and death to the people around him. Of course, that point could have been made in a more realistic way. Brody's part in this episode of Homeland ends with him stuck alone in a room that resembles his old cell in Iraq. He has left some heroin to take if he so wishes, and it doesn't take him long to do just that. Carrie is still stuck in the psych ward. When we first see her, she is trying to bullshit a psychiatrist, telling him that she forgives Saul for betraying her and doing everything in her power to get some dignity and freedom back. The doctor is not so easily fooled. In this place, Carrie has little to no freedom and is treated like a child. The caregivers are rude and obnoxious pricks, except one certain lady that Carrie bonds with. This lady risks her job to help Carrie by covering up how she harmed herself, and eventually she risks her job again by helping Carrie out of the psych ward and downstairs to see a visitor. I cannot help but think that this lovely lady Carrie is friends with is going to lose her job because she is too caring and too nice to one Carrie Matheson. Carrie thought this visitor was Saul Berenson, but in actuality it turned out to be a representative from a client. Who is the client? What do they want from Carrie? Well, Carrie thinks she knows, and she isn't at all thrilled by these people pretending to come to her aid. She comes to the conclusion that he must have been sent by a foreign government that wishes to extract information from her. In a very brave manner, she storms off, telling the guy that she would rather die in the psych ward. I might be very wrong, but the man could be a CIA plant designed to test Carrie's loyalties to the agency. If this is the case, she is surely doing herself favors by turning him down. The episode ends with Carrie alone, scared, trapped in a room, brooding. Both her and Brody are in different places, but in similar circumstances. Prisoners of their own fate. The episode had its idiotic moments, And quite honestly, I'm really sick of seeing Brody on the show. I really just want to see him get killed already. But like the doctor of the Tower of David said to Brody, you are like a cockroach, still living long after the final nukes fall from the sky. You keep going while everything around you falls apart. I hope they break this rule and do away with this character soon. I never liked Brody. I feel for him. I think it is sad what he has gone through. I pity him for being manipulated, broken, and tortured. But I feel his usefulness to the story is at an end. There's little he can do now. I think it is best to just put him out of his misery and move on to new characters and new threats. And do me a favor, please remember to like and share this video. I'll be back next week with another Homeland review.